Is the world ready for a black female president? Currently, we know Trump is in office, and I know a lot of people are having mixed opinions about this election, and probably are a little bit of shock and dismay about who they voted for, or probably in regret if they did not vote, and things of that nature. So it's a lot of, I know a lot of people can't wait to vote this time around. I just feel like the turnout is going to be a lot different. For people who didn't vote, I think they probably will be voting. I think people are going to vote a little bit more wiser, because a lot of people have been disappointed. This is GP speaking. I'm not even speaking on my own personal opinion of everything that has been going on. But I think that next election will be very much more thought out and more taken more seriously. And we just pray that we don't go into no WW3 or anything like that, because y'all know if we do go to war, Trump will remain president until it's over, and wars can take years and years and years. But my thing is, as much as we have witness of what's going on right now, and I'm speaking about the big, not so beautiful bill. Yes, Kamala should have been president, real stuff. As much as we speak so much about the big bill and see the effects that it's going to have, not just for us, but for everyone, a lot of farmers have been going through things as they're, and I'm trying to remember exactly what the farmers, I just know that they needed workers to work their farms, and they were expecting melanin folks to come work on their farms as if this was the 1800s or something, and they can't get workers to work the fields. Me personally, I wouldn't do it even if I probably needed a job. I'm going to be honest. I probably would let my pride override that. I'm not going to be a black person working in anybody's fields. Especially if it's a clear person, but that's just me. Paisley, now my brain hurts, check. I am not good when it comes to presidents. I'm mentally slow. Hold on. I'm back, y'all. So, anywho, I just feel like as much as we're going through with the Medicaid cutbacks, a lot of veterans are getting cutbacks on things. Trump is trying to make it so that people will only be living on like housing assistance for 2 years, which I don't feel like that is enough time. Do I agree that some people stay too long and they shouldn't be passing it on to generation to generation? Absolutely. But people do need help, especially in today's economy. Now he's making it so that if you are receiving, food stamp benefits, you have to be working at least 20 hours a week or something like that. That's coming down the pipeline. A lot of things are going to get shut off for probably medicine wise, and there's people who have mental health issues and all types of things that's going on that he's changing. And I think this is a part of what that plan they were saying he had. I forgot the name of it, but this is the big beautiful bill plan. Okay, Paisley, I'll be here. I'll be here for about an hour or so. And my point is, thank you guys for the likes. Thank you so much. My point is, as crazy as all of this is, and it's taking a toll, and food prices are steady rising, and it's hard to get a job. Even at the most simple spot, it's hard to get a job. It's hard to even live alone because you need help. Everybody needs help. They either need roommates or this, that, and the other. It's as frustrating as this is. I just would like to say that I still don't think America is ready to see a black female president, even with everything that is going on. Like, even if, okay, people already had an idea of what was possibly coming down the pipeline. The rumors were out before Trump won, and I feel like even knowing what people know, people just opted out. If they felt like, with Joe Biden, I will be honest, I knew that Joe Biden wasn't going to run for president because I could just see all the ailments in the the cognitive. It just wasn't there. I had said a week before he decided not to run. I was like, he can't do it. I'm like, I can tell he's a little. I can see by his demeanor. He don't be paying attention. He don't. He's not capable. Just with his age and stuff to be. I know they were like, well, Trump old too, but Trump is a little bit more like there. Joe Biden was. I don't know where he was. You get what I'm saying? And so it was like the lesser of two evil. I said, I'm not even worried about it because he's not going to run. I said, Kamala, she's going to run. And she did. But I knew she wouldn't win. And I'm going to tell you why. Because sexism trumps, no pun intended, racism. It does. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of black men, they were willing to vote for Biden, but once they knew that a female was running, and it doesn't even have to be about her being black. This just about, and there's debates about that. And is she black? Is she Indian? Is she a mix? So let me just say, as a brown person, because Indians are brown, and even with all that being said, a lot of black men didn't vote. They were quiet. Did y'all? I noticed that. I noticed like from the last election, they were more vocal. I don't know if some people were quiet because they were just disappointed in general. But I didn't see a lot of black men advocating for a black woman or a brown woman or a woman, period. Whatever you want to consider her as. They were not going to vote for this woman. And if they had to choose, they would vote for Trump because sexism trumps racism. I said it. The world is not ready for a female president. And then it was like, well, let me just give you an example. So if it was like, well, I know she, it could have been because of maybe she's not black. And that's probably why they feel like some people feel like she's not black. So let's just start there. It's okay. Let me give you another scenario then. What about if Michelle Obama ran? She might get more male votes, but they're not going to vote. They don't like that. They don't want it to happen. Thank folks in your chat. Huh? So they don't want that to happen because it's sad. Like, if an intelligent woman with prestige and classy and she's about, I don't care, she probably could be talking about reparations. They're not going to do it because they don't want to see it. Even some white men will put their racism to the side in order for a black man. And that's just, but they rarely have to do anything like that. But if we look back in history, women were the last people to be able to vote. I think black men probably were able to vote before a white woman. And men tend to stick together. And that is why people try to tell women that the fake girls and all that stuff, we really need to have a stronger alliance with one another. Because at the end of the day, the men will do what's best for them. And they will put certain things aside in order to support the patriarchy. They do not want a woman in charge. Elijah, my girlfriend broke up with me today and it's my birthday. Can you sing happy birthday to me? Well, Elijah, every day is my birthday. Let's start there. And my Cashapp is pinned. So if you would like a special singing request, then I'm going to need you to hit the Cashapp in my Dr. Umar voice without the scamming. But I will say happy birthday to you. And that's all you get for free. And yeah. So I just wanted y'all to ponder on it because It wasn't too long ago that a woman couldn't even own a house without a man, have a bank account without a man, be able to work jobs. You're welcome, Elijah. Be able to have a reasonable pay at all without a man, to do anything without a man. So that was in this lifetime. It's your grandmother remembers that, your great grandmother remembers that. And so it's just a little bit, they would deem it as preposterous to go from that to now a woman running the country. Because some of those men who remember those times, that's your granddad, your great grandfather, and they still passed on these, you know what I'm saying, patriarchal standards that it just wouldn't fit the narrative of a woman becoming a president. You know, Tupac just said back in the 90s, we weren't ready to see a black president. But rumor has it we already did. Well, we didn't, but back in the day they did, because I don't know if y'all know that, you know, rumor has it Abraham Lincoln was supposedly black, and they just whitewashed him for the history books, and that's what I had heard. And Obama technically not the first black president, but yeah, we could go down that rabbit hole another day, or y'all can go figure that out on your own. But the thing that I'm trying to say is that black people, if we're not ready to see a black president, if that's what he felt in the 90s, and here we are in the 2020s, and we have seen a black president. So I'm going to say after he said that, about 10, 12 years later, it happened. No, I still don't think we're not ready to see a black female president, because men don't like when women with too much authority and too much power. I feel like the only time a man would kind of accept a woman with too much intellect and power is if she's one who's being used in other areas when her power is not so great. So she could be a woman of intelligence, a woman who is educated, a woman who has her own, but her emotional intelligence could be low to the point where, you know, he might use her for the things that she has and the things that she can do for him. That type of woman, they will praise a woman who's independent when they can benefit and manipulate her into using them and helping them with, you know, doing 50-50 with the bills, but not 50-50 probably with cooking, and not 50-50 around the house, and not 50-50 with the kids, and not 50-50 with running the errands, but 50-50, they'll go 50-50, they might go 50-50 with the bills. Still will overwork her. Those are the type of smart, independent, they'll just be like, yeah, he likes a smart, independent, he likes a woman who has something that he can benefit from and use. But when y'all get to an argument and you throw that in his face and say, well, I do this, I do that, this my house, this my apartment, this my this my that, and I'm here paying everything, or I'm footing taking care of everything, they don't like when you say stuff like that. Because, see, that'll get you cheated on. That's when they'll start cheating. Because you emasculating them by telling the truth. So the only time they really like stuff, a woman of power, is when they can take it and benefit it from themselves. So a woman becoming a president serves them no purpose, because it's like, there's no way they're not directly benefiting from it. They're not going to be the first gentleman, you know. So it's like they don't like to see that, and they don't want their woman to get too many ideas. Men who like to psychologically control women and manipulate women, they don't like them to see other women who are more powerful and has a mind of her own. So it'll be to them, having a female president that's a black woman will be like the tides are turning, and you know, other women might start thinking too much and getting these ideas and things like that. So I don't feel like people like, oh, Michelle should have ran, she wouldn't win. she wouldn't win because she wouldn't get the black man vote. She would not. They wouldn't vote at all, or they'll vote for the other person. They were very quiet about Kamala. I always say her name 2 different ways. But they were very quiet. Very quiet. And I peeped it. And it was peeped. Okay? So, let me get into my next topic. Speaking of men not liking powerful type women that's confident and still be in her own little lane, is Love&Basketball. If you see my my thumbnail, I've had the ball like throwing it into the trash because as I got older, I realized that movie wasn't really, it was toxic. It's shit. Trash. Actually. I still have I don't like how my hair looking. Hold on. I still have a nostalgic connection and it's some little cutesy parts to the movie, but Quincy wasn't shit in so many ways. And it was because he was jealous of the girl because she was doing her thing. She really had the passion for basketball. She was doing what she was supposed to be doing, being responsible. He got mad because his dad was being a whore. And he deceived him. And he was like, well, why do you sit with me, to talk on the bleachers? And she was like, nigga, I got curfew. And he got mad. Like, but men to talk about how women be getting mad when they work and stuff like that. But it's like he knows this. He plays sports. He understands. So she was like, if I would have sat here with you, I wouldn't be starting. He was like, well, at least you got your priorities straight. Yeah, I do got my priorities straight because I'm not finna ride the bitch and I've been working my ass off and this is my dream and you're telling me to sit out here with you to talk when you can call me on the phone. You can call me on the phone and could have talked to me in the dorm room. But see, he just wanted her shit to be fucked up because he felt like his own life was fucked up. And that's not right. Because when it be up, he gonna celebrate. And that's why I was talking about on yesterday's live. If y'all missed it, you can run that back. I was just talking about how sometimes you're gonna be doing good in your season and somebody will be doing bad and then it'll flip and then you not at your best, and that's okay because you might be receiving your blessings in another area that you're not even really paying attention to versus them. And it's just the life is, it goes in waves. And I just felt like then he got upset and brought the girl on a date and took her to McDonald's or whatever to prove a point. Like, oh, well, at least she had time for me. And she just like, it wasn't like she was just, she's a basketball player. She got to go to practice. He a basketball player. He understood too. And he was wrong. And he was just being selfish and a narcissist. And for her to come, she was waiting on him. She waited on him. She was waiting because she went to Italy or whatever to play ball. And she wasn't really talking to none of them dudes there. That's what she told the girl that she was played one against. And she get back, happy to see him, find out he engaged or whatever. And then she let him know how she felt. And he just was being all nonchalant and shit, and then play him for his heart. He ended up pushing her ass when they playing the game. And it seemed so cute when you young, you watched it. But when you watch it with a new set of eyes and you grown, nigga, boy, please, ain't nobody finna do all that. Because why should I be? And then she basically was like, acting like she was wrong. Monica was not wrong. She didn't do anything wrong. She didn't. And if any guy thinks that lets you know what type of guy he is. She didn't even do anything wrong. And she was like, well, I didn't know. Girl, he didn't know. And then he's still acting the same way. And now he wants you to prove your love to him. Because he was like, you think the sun rises and sets on your ass. No, you think the world rises and sets on your ass because you wanted me to miss starting and ride the fucking bitch. And you know what this means to me. This is my dream. And just because you having your little bad season, you want me to have one instead of just waiting your turn. He the one wanted the sun to rise and set on his ass. That's why he wanted, and her stupid ass come some play you one-on-one. I'm finna play shit. He done played you enough, baby. I'm just saying, like, Love and Basketball was not as romanticized. It was not. It was romanticizing toxicity, men being selfish, acting like you gotta chase them and wait on them and work for them and earn them. Girl, you should have been talking to some of them in Italy. You could have been dating. If y'all would have got back cool, but to try to stop him from getting married and all that stuff, go ahead and do what you gonna do. Cause let me play. It was cute though. The setup was cute, but the way it came about as a grown woman in her 30s, I don't agree with it. It was giving very much pick me. It was giving very much coddling him, like because of his daddy issues, and he needed to go to therapy and work on it. You know what I'm saying? Because even in the day, probably if they was like, if they made a Love and Basketball part 2 with them in there, it was gonna be some more problems in their relationship. Cause I'm trying to figure out what made him all of a sudden, I guess, cause he got older, he wasn't as passionate. What made him all of a sudden just be cool with, you know, he got married to her, they had that cute baby, and he on the sidelines. What made him get? I don't even sound right for the end. It didn't look good, but what made him all of a sudden, his selfishness just disappeared that damn fast? And because I want to know, I would like to know, what was he doing? I forgot. I forgot what he was. He doing just a regular job, and would he begin to envy her because you know her career always gonna, you know? I'm curious, to be honest. Was he gonna be like her papoose and Clarissa Shields while she out there playing sports? Quincy was toxic. Monica didn't do nothing wrong. She shouldn't have, she didn't need to be being no pygmy and apologizing for, I'm in college. This is my life. Like, then if she don't become successful and she fell out, you ain't gonna want her in either. Like, for him to ask that of her was selfish. Niggas cheat all the time. You know that. You'll be all right. That was selfish of him to do, and he needed to work that out with his father. Because at the end of the day, as much as Monica was listening to, if she was talking to him, it's really not much she could do. Y'all basically like adult kids. Y'all just jumping off the porch. She don't know shit about no relationship. You know what I'm saying? She couldn't really tell you much any fucking way. You need to go to a therapist to talk to somebody older, because it wasn't really much for her to do. It just seemed like he just wanted her to be dealing with that because that's what he was dealing with, instead of being like, you know what, y'all could have talked for a little while, kiss, I'm gonna hit you up later. He probably should have wanted to be alone anyway. And why is you putting that shit on her? Don't put all that shit on me. Like, I just feel like they romanticize running up behind a nigga, putting your life on hold. And she was basically like, I didn't know back then. He was like, that was 5 years ago. I moved on. Girl, you still don't know because you ain't do wrong. He was wrong to even ask that of you. You wasn't wrong for not missing curfew. You wasn't wrong for doing what you was supposed to be doing. That's like your job. That's like your job. You got scholarships and you can't be playing around with your career like that. He was wrong to ask that of you. It was selfish. He the one thinks the sun rises and sets on his motherfucking ass. That's the truth of the matter. Quincy, he was Love and Basketball is a toxic movie. It's not a real romance. But do I still enjoy parts of it? Yeah. And I had wrote this because it dawned on me one day. I was watching the movie with a grown set of eyes, and I was like, that nigga ain't shit. It's just like, and so I went to Twitter and I started typing in, like, I even went looking on YouTube to see, am I the only person seeing this? I went on YouTube to type in, like, Quincy Love and Basketball was not no romance movie. And I started seeing certain people talk about it. And I'm like, thank God, because I know I'm not the only one, because everybody always talk about how much they like, you know, Love and Basketball or whatever. And I used to be one of those people until I watched it with some mature eyes. That's all. Hey y'all, y'all can comment, like all of the things, tink. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and turn on your Tinkerbell notifications. What's the next thing I had wanted to talk about? Just on the sound sheet. I forgot what my title, y'all. I'm trying to pull my live up. It's not letting me like see. It's not letting me see, but I remember now. So, what else I had wanted to talk about? Speaking of me going online and searching. Ooh, the lips look. Yeah. But speaking of me went to go search and see, did anybody else feel the way that I feel about Love and Basketball? I couldn't help but flutter and think that I wonder do the government, like, you know how Rick James was on, if y'all ever seen the Dave Chappelle show, and he was like, they should have never gave you niggas money. I wonder do the government feel like we should have never gave these niggas the internet? Because I kind of wonder, like, why would they give us the internet? Why would they give us social media? Like, why am I here right now talking to you? Like, I can't believe that they even doing this shit. Like, I always was feeling like they gonna change their minds or something. I can't even believe we have the internet to spread information like this, because that could be very concerning for them. It seemed like it started off as this little, like, let's just take it back to like Facebook, where you just meet and take little innocent pictures and keep up with the family and you know, stuff like that. And then people started writing these statuses and like putting their opinions up. And I think that's why, like, as you notice, like Mark Zuckerberg, he is a billionaire, and he, like, you could tell that now he has real close ties to people in the upper echelon, and he seemed like he has to kind of abide by certain rules and the laws and the things like that. And now they have implemented, like, you know, it's like the phones read our minds, and you think of something and it'll pop up on your motherfucking feed, and it's weird, right? Because they have to have some sense of control. They got to gain control back, at least try to, because I don't know if they knew. I wonder, did they know that it was going to take off like this? And that's another reason why they don't like TikTok, because they can kind of control the narrative with the propaganda with social media sites that's in the U.S., and then they try to use it as like it's some security infraction. Like, they're trying to get your information and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, all these apps do that. I believe the Siri do it, ChatGPT do it. All of them listening, all of them spying. They're listening, they're spying right now. They're doing it with smart TVs. They're doing it with smartphone. The only difference is they can't control China type stuff. So they can't control it, so they don't want us to really have it, because people go to talking about certain stuff, and it's like a truth. If you want to hear some truth, now some stuff that's not all truth. You always do your research, but you have to get it from TikTok. See, YouTube, they used to have more raw conspiracies and all of that type of stuff on here, and a lot of those channels and things got pulled down because the upper people that control it, I guess the government, you know, said, no, you can't do that. And Facebook kind of do it, and they kind of filter things out, but things are still getting out. Definitely on that TikTok. That's the main reason why they don't want us to have that. But I just wonder, did they really fully think this through? Like, maybe they just thought that social media would be another way for them to spread propaganda and, you know, stuff like that. But I wonder if they knew how people would be putting their opinions on here and truth would be coming out. I wonder what they have ever gave it to us. If they knew how this information has been spreading like wildfire, and people are changing, and people are expanding their brains and retraining their brains, and you know, because there's some good things with it. Of course, we know it's some bad stuff with it, but I can't believe they gave us niggas the internet to be able to express ourselves. Or I wonder, did they feel like they was going to be able to keep it under control? I wonder, did they really think this through, or was it just another money grab and they just feel like, oh, we'll just filter them out, and it just became too much to control? Like, I'm surprised we're here right now. I'm surprised you're here with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm surprised that all of this is taking place, because I wouldn't think that people who want to control so much would give people like a platform. I know it's supposed to be freedom of speech, but we all know that's not the truth. We know that's not completely true. Like, come on. So I just can't believe that we're here and it's happening, because like I said, they like to control so much information. And I'm wondering, have things got out of hand? Is the veil lifting? Is too much being exposed? It's a lot of weird things going on, but I can't really just get into all of this, that, and the third. But the human conscience is rising. We're no longer falling, straight to the bullshit. And you can't really reverse that. It really can't. Once you open up that Pandora's box, you can't just close it shut like that. And so I wonder, like, is that why they're trying to figure out how to read the minds and know what you're thinking while you're on these apps and just doing this illegal spying, because they feel like we have to regain control because this is not the way we planned it? Is there like, have we opened up another, like, the Matrix is getting crazy? Like, is there a little dimension that has been opened up with this portal? But it is a portal. This is a portal. This internet shit, these social media sites, it is a gateway. It is another portal. Is there like a cross, something didn't happen, and maybe they thought they was going to be able to control it, but somewhere along the line, something switched up. You know what I'm saying? Something switched up. I want to say something got switched a little bit, and it was like, wait a minute, we were supposed to be able to keep this under control. What happened? And you can't just plan everything precisely, because there is a free will is at play. You know, it almost make me, when I was just talking about all that, it almost made me think of the Mandela Effect. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, things were supposed to happen one way and it wasn't supposed to be this way, and you may have remembered it to be this way, and now they're telling you that that never happened. Like, Sinbad didn't star as a genie in a genie movie. I know, I seen that movie when I was little, but they said it never happened. And that man, I forgot what his name is, they said he was never on public clearance housing telling people they won $50,000 knocking on somebody's door. I'm like, I remember that man being on public clearance housing, because me and my sister used to be like, I hope that man come knock on our door and say we winning $20,000 every week for the rest of our life. And they say a lot of people remember that man being on public clearance housing, knocking on doors, and they said that man never did that shit, and that shit never fucking happened. And I'm like, you was a motherfucking lie, and Sinbad was a motherfucking genie in the genie movie. That's like, no, Shaq played a genie in the movie. Yes, he did. And people talked about the Shaq movie, said it was a rip-off bootleg of the one that Sinbad played in, because the one Sinbad played in was better. I remember seeing it. But somebody, somehow, some way the timelines and jumped. Something ain't right. I don't feel like we on the right timeline. And call me crazy, call me a conspiracy theory, but something ain't fucking right. Something ain't right. And I don't think it's just us feeling like that. I feel like the people that try to play God feel like that too. Something went wrong. It's like somebody trying to get control back. They messing with the weather. They're telling you that stuff didn't exist that did exist. It's just a lot of crazy shit going on. You got too many UFO sightings popping up. They already admitted that it was true about 4 years ago. Everybody paid it dust. They seeing on cameras. Something going on. You feel me? Not to fearmonger, but something going on. But some of this stuff is in Revelations. No, I'm not trying to say it's the end of time. No man knows the day nor the hour. That is in the Bible. But I'm just saying, though. It's a lot of shit going on. Use your discernment. It's just something different. And I've been feeling like this since like 2020. I feel like 2019 was the last of this kind of good nostalgic feeling. The air feels different, but it is because they spraying shit in it. Stuff is just not quite the same, and it's kind of sad, you know. I pray that we get some equilibrium going on. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but I do certainly think that things could be way better. And I just surprises me that they gave us regular people these platforms to express ourselves. And I think, in my mind, I think that's why sometimes some of the most craziest things start trending. Like, take my hand, nothing beats a jet to holiday, save 50 pounds. I feel like those type of things that trend, sometimes I think that is strategic. I think like some things that go viral, I feel like upper people chooses that to distract or to just test to see how they can diverge our mind frames, and also to make us talk about things that aren't that important. Yeah, I think that's part of propaganda. Some stuff that just trends. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And it's cutesy, and I might indulge in this too. But yeah, I'm going to indulge in a minute, and then I'm going to talk about some real right after that. Like, and I be feeling like certain stuff be trending and stuff like that just to kind of get our mind off other things. I've heard that that's how they do commercials. Like, they play these commercials and advertisement and have sales and all of these things to distract. I think like celebrity news, no shade to me. I talk about everything. I feel like sometimes they get to trending and stuff like that to distract you from what's real and what's really going on and what you really should be turning around and looking at. And then we all know that's the government. I think racism is a distraction. I think that if we can put them against each other, then they won't come over here looking at us. I don't think white people know that. I don't think it may have, I don't know if it initially started off like that, but I definitely know it's a agenda now. If they too busy fighting with each other, they won't really figure out who the real problem is. It's all strategic. And that's how, people who get into that, you just realize how ignorant they are, the Neanderthals that they are, because it's a way to keep us thinking small and not thinking outside of the box. All of this shit's like the Matrix. It really is. A lot of stuff is symbolism. You're gonna take the red pill, you're gonna take the blue pill. I seen Will Smith on a video, he took both. That was funny. But it's like a lot of stuff is to keep your mind off certain things, and for the most part it works, but there's still those people like me and other people who see beyond the foolery and the clownery, and the distractions don't uphold like that, and it's starting to have a weaker impact That's why celebrity culture is dying. That's why, you know, a lot of stuff is starting to change. And if we can't control them with propaganda and the commercials and the trends, we have to control them in other ways. And that's when stuff start getting a little bit more dangerous, because people like to play the big God. And that's when we have to start putting stuff in the foods and spraying stuff in the skies and just doing little other things to gain control. And I'm probably talking a little too much on here, but whatever. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. So that's how things be going. And so with that being said, I'm not going to talk too much because we'll say that for the next episode. Like Nikki said. Let's get into something a little bit more lighthearted. Because as much as I believe that you should know and be in the know, you also need to know that, you know, we are spiritual beings having human experience, but we still are humans and we need to enjoy this life as much as we can, no matter how fucked up it can be sometimes. We have to bring it back. We got to get the equilibrium going on. So let's lighten up the mood a little bit, because you know they watching. You know they listening. And then they probably won't even push me through the algorithm for speaking on stuff like that. But I'm going to keep it a bean. That's all I know how to do. So let me get into my Carrie Bradshaw segment. I have a segment. Thanks for y'all tuning in. You can press the like buttons if you like pink, if you like Tink, if you like fairies, you like a person who talks about everything, pop culture, social commentary, lifestyle, and all types of stuff. I'll let you girls subscribe. I'm gonna be live. I'm gonna be live tomorrow as well. Anywho, I wanted to get into my Carrie Bradshaw. Well, it's really my fairy. Yes, I do a little cosplaying sometimes. Let me move my big old hair. I got some fairy wings on. My Fairy Bradshaw segment based on Carrie Bradshaw, where we answer the questions that she asks in the show, because on every episode she have you with a question. I couldn't help but wonder. I couldn't help but flutter. So I'm going to answer the question in like a modern, updated fashion. So yesterday we did question 1 and 2. So I'm going to look up question 3, episode 3, season 1. So bear with me if you're looking at me, but I ain't looking at you because I'm looking down at my phone. Y'all can tap, 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 tap in, bibbity, bobbity, boom, sparkle, sparkle. Let me know where you from, what y'all doing tonight, you know. I'm just chilling. Y'all see that? I got to get my life together. Can you help me? Because my sleep schedule is just crazy, but I plan on sleeping in tomorrow. I know I'm going to wake up because I've been having interrupted sleep. Good sleep, but a little interrupted. And then, you know what they say though, they was like, if you sleeping, let's just say you sleep and then you just wake up randomly, that's, you need to talk to God trying to get your attention. So I haven't really been doing it like I should, but if I will, I just wake up or scroll and you don't need to do that, or try to go back to sleep. So then, if it happens, I'm going back to sleep. I'm sleeping in because I got to get organized for Monday. And then I got to run a few errands tomorrow evening. Get organized some more. And then that'll be that. I'm trying to go to bed early. I'm trying to find out my... Okay, we answered question number 2. Why I can't find question number 3? Oh, here we are. Oh, this is kind of good. I've been on here for 51 minutes. Y'all can comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on your Tinker bell. The bell, you get it? Notification. And yeah, y'all can comment. Y'all can talk back. I know I just got some people who just be silent watchers. Hey, how you doing? Or whatnot. So the questions from season 1, episode 3 on my Fairy Bradshaw segment, where we answer questions from Sex in the City, is there a cold world war between singles and married people? Let me think about this. I feel like it was. I feel like there was in this day and age. I did feel like there was this point where it seemed like married women would probably shade a woman who's not married. I feel like there was a point where that was happening, and it'll be like, let me get into it. So, okay, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna say this. Like, people will always say things like, and this was my take. I'm gonna give you my take, things I've saw, things I've experienced. I have seen people say, if you with a man and he haven't married you in 2 years, you need to break up with him because men know automatically if he wants to get married. And I want to say this. I want to throw a couple of different scenarios out there. Every woman is not rushing to get married. Have you ever thought that maybe these people aren't married because the woman doesn't want to get married? Or it's just natural to assume that women are just always just like, pick me. Let's ponder on that. Okay, the next part, pondering over, is that even though a man may know that he wants to marry you, that doesn't mean he's ready to marry you. And it's bibbity bobbity boom. What do I mean? Let me get my microphone ready, my favorite one microphone. A man must feel like a man at all times. And a wise man doesn't feel the need. Let me switch my light up because that's too. Is that? Okay. It's not trying to just rush things. So what I mean is, just because a man know he want to marry you, that don't mean he gonna get married soon. And what do you mean? It means that he probably don't have his credit right. He probably not have his career right. He probably got to pay some college, fees back. Like, some people don't just put love and emotions just first. It sounds good, but some people don't want to be married and broke and poor and trying to finesse the government and stuff like that. They would rather wait to get married when they get their shit in order. Some people actually want to do that. They don't want to go into marriage in poverty. They don't want to go into marriage and be in a low income apartment. Some people will really rather wait until they get their ducks in a row and get their stuff together before they get married. Like, so even though he may know he want to marry you, and 5 years have passed and he probably hasn't because he's steady trying to get his shit in order. Or she's trying to get her stuff in order because she just don't want to be a stay-at-home wife or a in the process career woman. Let's just say she's in the process of getting her degree, or she's in the process of doing this, or she's still like doing things. Like, she might want to wait because she don't want to feel like her whole identity will be based upon being a mother and being his wife. She probably wants to have herself established, and that is okay. You know what I'm saying? So just because everybody's situation is different, and y'all got to stop generalizing everybody. So yeah, I did feel like it used to be like this battle between, a woman if she's married or a woman that's not married. And I think that it has kind of died down because I think that all women are realizing, for the most part, these ain't, and I hate to say that, but you pick your poison, sweetheart. Like at this point, and I'm not saying that every is probably not no good marriages or anything like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying just pick your poison. Figure out what it is that you want and what you want to deal with, because you're gonna deal with something. You're either gonna be single and be a little lonely sometimes, but you can also be married and be lonely sometimes. And that's where I feel like the conflict between women is starting to ease up when it comes to married versus single, because they realizing it still kind of end up being the same on a lot of levels. You can feel lonely in the marriage, you can feel used in the marriage, you can feel used if you're single, sexually, emotionally, and you can feel drained in the marriage when you're doing all this extra labor and extra work and not getting help. Just make sure you're happy. I think a lot of women are waiting to have children and wanting to wait till they get married to have children, and that's smart to do, because I think that a lot of married women, they say they feel single. It's not me making this up. It's check the GP. I know a lot of married women and a lot of married men, they be like more promiscuous and willing to cheat more than a single man. And that's just probably because he's not fulfilled. In what way? Whether it's there used to be a cold war between married women and single women, but I think that they're starting to wave the white flag because they realize that even being single is starting to be more acceptable than being married. Even though that doesn't mean that you don't want to get married or, nothing is wrong with it, but it's just like people are starting to take their time more and just enjoy where they're at in life, enjoy the present more, which is nothing is wrong with that. Just because you're married doesn't mean that you are in a happy relationship. And just because you're single doesn't mean you're miserable. Or you could be a happy person that's married and you could be a happy person that's single. Like, there's no one definition to happiness. And people think that, like, there's women that's single and they get more out of men than a married woman to her own husband. Or even, and I could take the MEN out and put MAN. It could be a woman that's single that gets help from a man that she's not married to more than a married woman can. It doesn't mean, it's not this Cinderella story all the time. It's not. And I think more women are starting to admit that. Go on TikTok if you think I'm lying. They'll tell you how they feel. Some women feel single, in a marriage, and they're a single mother that's married type of energy. And then you can have a woman that's single and she gets help from, her child's father, hands-on and stuff like this. So I don't feel like the Cold War is only still going on with the people who have not been informed that there is a change going on in the way that we look at stuff and the way we view stuff. Those are the people who still like left behind and they conscious haven't risen yet and they don't know what's really going on. They not really watching the right things online and leveling up and paying attention and analyzing things. But there used to be a Cold War going on between married women and single women. I do think so. But I know it's single women who are benefiting or getting benefits from a man or men that married women not getting. And, but do I knock it? No, I don't knock marriage. Or a woman being single. I think do what makes you happy. But make sure that you're happy with yourself. You're going to be with yourself forever to the end. So just make sure you're happy with that. Anything else is a bonus. So yeah, I'm finna get ready to get up off this thing. I'll be back live tomorrow. And yeah, that's a wrap. That's all, folks. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. If you didn't catch this live, you can pun the replay and watch the pink Tink playback. I hope you enjoyed this podcast session. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Okay.